Extraordinary stories, extraordinary reporting. This is CN8 Extra.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's edition of CN8 Extra. I'm Gwen Owens. Tonight, we'll look at children living and thriving despite the adversity facing them. First, we'll take a look at what's been called the forgotten disease, often confused with diabetes, which isn't even similar. Sickle cell disease primarily affects African Americans, about 70,000, but people of Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, Hispanic, Indian, and Caribbean origin are also susceptible. And some of you may be carriers and not even know it. Tonight, we'll take a look at innocent children who are the targets of this disease that has no cure.
It mostly happens in my back or my legs, my joints. If it's bad enough that I have to go to the hospital, it really hurts.
11-year-old Naya spent most of her first 5 years of life hospitalized because of the disease, which once caused her lung to collapse. Like most sickle cell patients, Naya's had no choice but to get blood transfusions to prevent strokes, a big killer for kids with sickle cell. Her mother still cries at the thought of all her child's been through and the uncertainty of what's ahead.
You want to be the mother, you know, that says everything's going to be okay, give them a kiss and the pain goes away. But that doesn't happen with sickle cell disease.
Sickle cell disease is a hereditary blood disorder that predominantly affects African Americans. Instead of having circular cells that easily carry oxygen through the body, sickle cell patients have abnormal cells that are too rigid and sticky to circulate freely through the blood vessels.
Their blood cells are in the shape of a half moon or a sickle.
It prevents oxygen from getting to various parts of the body, thus causing, in some instances, some organs to shut down.
And despite the fact that sickle cell patients, for the most part, look healthy, when the disease strikes, it hits hard, causing debilitating pain.
Sometimes it gets so bad that you feel like you can't control it anymore, no matter what you do. And sometimes if I get pain and I sit still, then it hurts even more.
20 years ago, the lifespan for a sickle cell child was bleak.
They were lucky if they got through their teens.
The life expectancy now is much higher because treatment starts much earlier.
We thank you for all the blessings you've given us.
Walter Brandon and his 3 siblings were all born with the disease. He lived the longest, dying at age 59.
I believe Walter suffered daily with pain. Walter sometimes could hardly get around, hardly walk.
In the end, it was very difficult for him because he became a dialysis patient. He had to go 3 times a week, which took a lot out of him.
Ultimately, the disease attacked his heart, causing his death. 10 years ago, Walter Brandon founded the Sickle Cell Disease Association of America. Now his wife and good friend keep the association running, providing transportation and finances for sickle cell families, anything that they need to have some quality of life. It's what Walter would have wanted. Luckily for Naya, her parents' employers have been understanding. She has the most severe form of the disease, while her 8-year-old sister Dion has the sickle cell trait, which means she could pass the disease on to her children without ever having it herself.
So let's see what happens next.
Her half-brother Jules doesn't have the trait or sickle cell, which is often called the forgotten disease. It doesn't get nearly the amount of funding for research and testing that other diseases do.
My honest opinion is because it affects African Americans primarily and not the vast majority of the population.
My prayer is that people would give from the heart and be able to help bring about a cure.
One big help is for strangers, especially African Americans, to donate their blood. Life-saving blood that can be tagged to go specifically to a sickle cell patient.
When I say children need transfusions, so do adults. And they need it from birth to death. Without it, it's almost a death sentence.
As for a cure,
I believe that it will happen in our lifetime. I absolutely believe it. You know, I really do.
I hope they eventually do find it.
I just trust God and we take it day by day and we live our lives.
if you would like more information about sickle cell disease or how you can donate your blood directly to a sickle cell patient, dial this toll-free number. It's 1-800-421-8453, right there at the bottom of your screen.